about Jonathan Abram after his targeting call? How do you go about that?
We got other players. I mean, I always look at injuries as an opportunity for other guys to develop depth on our team. So, we'll play the guys that have been practicing there all week or all year and adjust. It's not a big deal.
So does that mean less dime, or does it mean the same amount of dime with a different guy in his spot?
Exactly. I mean, we have our packages. I mean, we've had packages, with dime, nickel, base. I mean, if a guy's down for a play, somebody else comes in, so it won't affect us that way.
I know the alignment of the offense makes this happen, but when Montez and Jeffrey Simmons are on the same side of the ball, is that a disastrous combo?
Yeah, I think that, anytime you can put good players in position where you're next to another good player, it reduces the amount of double teams or 2-on-1 blocks you get, and it forces people to 1-on-1 block you. And at the end of the day, that's really what you try to do defensively, is we try to get matchups to where we get 1-on-1s with our guys that can make plays against guys we feel they can win those 1-on-1 matchups, whether it's in the pass or in the rush. So anytime you get two playmakers like that together that are good players that have worked hard and have been productive for us, I think it's a good thing.
Jamal got a carry the other day in the game on offense and things, and Coach Mullen said he might get the chance to play some more offense. How much have y'all been sharing and fighting over Jamal?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do whatever it's best for the team, and we're a team, so if somebody's got to do that, they do it. It's not a big deal for us. I mean, we're so late in the season with our install and our packages and things like that. It's fine, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the team to allow us to win the game.
Is Alabama difficult to prepare for? I know they're good, obviously, but just because it seems like there's really they're all stars, I mean, when you can't key on one person, it seems like they can do a lot.
That kind of goes back to what the question about when you're talking about Jeffrey and Montez, you had good players. I think anytime you have good players surrounded by good players, if you say I'm going to take this away with it, it opens up something else. So, like I said, I think they're well coached. They got really good players. They have a menu or package of plays they're going to run, and they're going to adjust as you go. So it's important that you continue to adjust and work. You just got to work the game.
When do you think we talked about Abrams' targeting call? I mean, it looked like targeting, but obviously he was coming in quick.
It's targeting. I think the thing that's happened is, number one, the intent of the rule was to take the malicious plays out of the game, which I think the rule has done that. I think what's happened is that because guys are so fast and guys are adjusting to the ball, whether a runner, receiver, and those kind of things, there's some quick decisions that are made for a player, a tackler. And they're not really intended to be malicious, but it ends up being a targeting. So I think the biggest thing is as we move forward, continue to have the rule that we have, but maybe look at the ramifications of the rule. In other words, what is the penalty? Because the intent was to take the malicious plays out of the game, which it's done, but I'm not sure that we want to, hurt guys, and suspend guys for 4 quarters relative to making a quick decision like that. So, it's a penalty. You got to deal with it. We talk to guys about making sure that you're in the strike zone when you tackle guys, but that strike zone's moving and things are happening pretty quick with these guys, and they're big and fast. So, I just think as we move forward, if we can look at the rule for the penalty, I think that would be a good thing.
Along that same line, go ahead, Dave.
You've been around a while. How has it changed? Is it difficult to teach it, like how to?
Your strike zone, is like baseball. We say from the shoulder to the thigh, and you want to stay away from the head neck area. But as that guy moves and adjusts to the ball, he's moving, and your own guy, so it happens pretty quick. So I think the initial purpose of the rule was to take the head hunting, leading with your head, knocking guys out as they come across the middle, take that part out of it. And I think the rule has done that, and they've done a good job with that. But I think as we move forward, there's so many passes and things like that sometimes it gets difficult to not have that kind of contact based upon the amount of time you have to make a reactionary decision. And I think that's the part that probably needs to be looked at.
Related to that, thinking about making a decision, is it tough to coach that and not mute the aggression that you still have?
It's a balance. It's like anything. It's a balance. You talk to them about the strike zone and making sure that your compression tackling team, you're leading with your shoulder and you're striking in the shoulder to thigh area. And if you do that, then you have a chance to be successful and not make plays or not make penalties. And that's what you're going to work at. But it's it's no different than anything. I mean, we got really good athletes that are moving fast and things happen. So we just got to continue to coach it.
You mentioned before with Jeffrey how important he is for helping other guys around him too. That he's sort of focal point of your defense. Seeing you guys have so much success lately, is that really starting to see that pan out, I guess?
Yeah, I think that, our guys have bought into the system. We have good players that do work to play to our identity. And I think anytime you believe in what you're doing and you play hard, and you trust in the other guys around you, I think good things will happen. Just like the picks that we had at A&M, a couple of those were off tips. Well, if you're not running to the ball, you're not there to make that play. So if you're running to the ball and giving that effort, which you should do, your opportunities to make plays goes up. And I think anytime you can show that and educate players, it allows you to be a more fundamentally sound team, more opportunistic team too.
For Jeffrey, this might be an obvious question, but what is it that makes Jeffrey good?
He's a good player. He's got good size. He's explosive. Anytime you have big people that are explosive, that can run and have burst or acceleration, have quickness, those things are very hard to handle inside, particularly with defensive linemen. So, he really has all those tangibles, and he's fun to coach.
Coach, what do you see from Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris, and Najee Harris, all those running backs that they have?
They're really good players. They got really good vision. They're patient. If they get a seam, they can accelerate through the seam. And then once they get to the second level, they have the ability to turn it into double-digit runs, if not the home run. And you've got to be aware of that and understand that you've got to set the edge, build a wall with your team, because these guys do a good job of finding the hole. And their line does a good job of trying to finish blocks. They stay on blocks, they finish blocks. So it's really a combination of good effort up front with their offensive linemen and talented backs that have vision and have the ability to accelerate through a seam when they see it.
State obviously hasn't beaten Alabama in a while, and I know you haven't been here for that, but do you believe in the mental aspect of it, that people get, and I know Bama's good, but is it a mental thing, or do you think that's overblown and it's just two teams playing each other?
I think it's two teams playing each other. We're a new team. We're different than last year. We're different than the other team that we've had. We're going to work and prepare and let the chips fall where they do.
Are there packages in which you intentionally get Jeffrey and Montez on the same side of the line, or is that
Oh, yeah.
always reactionary?
No, it's intentional. You always try to put your guys in position that they can make plays one-on-one, so relative to who you're playing and what you see and protection and things like that, you try to get matchups you like.
Is that beneficial to Montez in particular, given how much you?
I think anytime you get matchups that you have a player against another player that you feel like he can, take advantage of, I think that's a good thing. So, and from that standpoint, I think it's a good thing.